this off. That's me and Sam Raimi. Hello and welcome to Back to the Honest Critic. Today I'm going to talk about the greatest superhero movie ever made, Spider-Man 2. Now, if you remember, months and months ago I reviewed the first Spider-Man movie and called it like the perfect origin story. Now this is the perfect superhero movie and I will go through why. First, let's talk about the effect of the first Spider-Man movie. The first Spider-Man movie really showed the world that people were aching for superhero movies. Movies about a hero where the costumes are colorful, not like that bullshit black spandex and X-Men, where people want to see the comic books come to life, and that a director who loves a comic is the guy directing the movie. Sam Raimi loves Spider-Man, and you can tell it with this movie. Let's just say Sam Raimi's Spider-Man trilogy is my favorite film trilogy ever. Even 3, I don't care. Because this is why. Sam Raimi understands Peter Parker, even in 3, and I will explain next episode. So, without further ado, let's talk about Spider-Man 2. I'm a poet and I didn't even know it. We get a great opening sequence with the titles of what's called like a comic book of the first movie. And it is done by Alex Ross and it is the greatest thing ever. Best credit in the movie.
Job to do. And I'm Peter Parker. And I too have a job. Parker!
I love the opening of this movie. The pan out of Mary Jane, the thing Peter Parker really wants, and then him almost crashing into his boss. That's great. I love when he says the word, there's a disturbance, because he can't say Spider-Man. What else is he gonna say? If you don't know, this is the guy from Avatar: The Last Airbender. Just gonna point that out. Not gonna make a joke, just gonna point that out. I love this. Go! Go! Oh, and this is just great Sam Raimi stuff. The clock, everything.
Whoa! He stole that guy's pizza!
I have a joke. This is a funny scene. Hey look, it's a co-writer of Evil Dead 2. It's fucking hilarious. Wait. He can't put stuff back in the closet. And here is a great meme.
Pizza time.
You're late.
What a bitch.
Hands.
This scene where Peter is trying to beg back for his job.
Peter, your grades have been steadily declining. You're late for class. You always appear exhausted.
Great scene where everything is strained. Mary Jane and Peter and Harry, and now Peter sees how lonely and messed up Aunt May's life is. And I love this right here. They don't need to tell you in dialogue that she's having money problems. It's just visual, shows it all.
You need it more than I do.
How is he supposed to live off $20? What is this, the government giving us a $600 stimulus check? What is this, like the government giving us a $600 stimulus check?
Can I help you?
We meet the villain of the movie, Otto Octavius, who...
We'll all be rich.
Hey look, James Franklin's been trying to play Thomas Sowell his whole life. Oh hi! Doc Ock. Haha!
Yes. My design to initiate and sustain fusion.
Peter's writing a paper of fusion about. Now, I love Alfred Molina's portrayal of Otto Octavius. He was just a guy who wanted to make a reliable energy source and is corrupted in a science experiment and becomes a villain when really all he wanted to do was make a more resourceful energy source for the world. He even said intelligence is not a privilege, it's a gift that should be good use for the mankind.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to question you.
There's a great scene with Donna Murphy and Alfred Molina. This is showing Peter the life he could have with Mary Jane. He wants to be a scientist too and be happy in love, but he can't. Great scene where Peter, his whole Spider-Man life is seeping into his own. He can't balance the whole thing. So Peter starts losing his powers, which leads to this hilarious scene.
It gets kind of itchy.
This all starts happening when Doc Ock does his science experiment and it goes wrong. Spirit. He kills his wife and ruins James Franco's career.
I'm ruined.
I don't think that was what happened. I think it was the Me Too movement that ruined James Franco's career. And now we have a great scene. Who says you can't have an Evil Dead homage in a PG-13 superhero movie? You, my friend, are no Bruce Campbell. Yes, the arms have corrupted Doc Ock that he robs a bank to fund his experiment. Actually, that's funny. Pretty much all those Spider-Man villains, all they ever do is rob banks. That's how you know Sam Raimi loves 60 Spider-Man. I like how the movie sets up the villain and the dilemma of Peter Parker losing his powers, all well balanced.
And I can't keep thinking about you. It's too painful.
Happy romance is creeping in again.
Oh no.
More self-doubt and losing his powers. He has a dream about Uncle Ben.
Can't you understand? I'm in love with Mary Jane.
And Cliff Robertson. And Spider-Man says he is Spider-Man no more.
I'm just Peter Parker. I'm Spider-Man. No more.
That's what I have to stop copying me. Great sequence was raindrops dropping on my head. Damn.
0.23 electron volts.
What a nerd. Doing good at school. Of course, this ends with a fucking freeze frame.
I finally got to him. The power of the press triumphs.
The scene where Peter finally fesses up and says he is responsible for Uncle Ben's death. And Rosemary's reaction is perfect. Aunt May.
To tell you so many times.
Over the dam or under the bridge or...
Scene where Mary Jane wants to kiss.
Kiss you.
I need to know something.
Yeah, she has to know if you're Spider-Man. Boy, yeah. That's my reaction. That's my interpretation of Tobey Maguire saying, "Oh boy, yeah," from the first movie. What matters is this: J. Jonah Jameson almost admits he's wrong.
Spider-Man was a hero. I just couldn't see it. He was
But
a criminal! He stole my suit! He's a menace to the entire city!
J.K. Simmons is perfect. Spider-Man is back. Now we have the greatest action scene in any superhero movie ever, and here's just a snippet. Did I forget to mention that Harry made a drill for tritium for the experiment to capture Spider-Man? I mentioned that. This is when Harry figures out Peter Parker's Spider-Man.
there are bigger things happening here.
I said there's bigger fish to fry, like your ex-girlfriend, because she got kidnapped again. Harry tells Peter where Mary Jane is, and he goes and beats sense into Doc Ock, literally.
He's right. Listen.
And it works. To the fact that intelligence is a gift, not a privilege, and should be used for the goodness of mankind. He volunteers to sacrifice himself. There's one thing I always liked about the Spider-Man movie. Spider-Man never had to kill the villain. He's a kind hero. He always tried to find a way around it. So all he really wants to do, instead of killing Doc Ock, he wants to stop the reactor from destroying the city. But Doc Ock offers to help by sacrificing himself.
I'll do it.
Now knows Peter Parker Spider-Man. So Doc Ock says he will not die a monster.
I will not die a monster.
I just said that. This is beautiful. Original Spider-Man finding Norm's secret stash of that green, you know what I'm saying. And Mary Jane decides to leave her husband at the altar. Because, you sure you don't want to marry him? I mean, he's an astronaut, he's got that government funding. You know, Peter's got like a one-room, no-bathroom apartment. You sure you want to do this? But no, she confesses herself to Peter, and she stays with him.
Go get him, Tiger.
And she says the line! It ends with an amazing swing. And I think a reference to The Graduate, where you don't really know their future. And that was Spider-Man 2, the greatest superhero movie of all time. And why the greatest superhero movie of all time? Because it used the alter ego of Spider-Man and Peter Parker, meshes them so well in visuals, and the way the story is told, the way Peter suffers so much. It's insane. Want more Peter suffering? And, you know, it's just crazy how well this movie works as a comic book movie and as a real drama, as comedic moments. All the drama, all the comedy, all the romance, everything I think works perfect for this movie, and it's got amazing action, well directed, and really this is just a great step up from the original, and still is the greatest comic book movie I've ever seen. And it even helped cement more comic book movies of how massive it did at the box office, how even Roger Ebert, who didn't like the first Spider-Man, called this the best comic movie ever made. It made comic book movies feel like they can be a success, and now they are. So thank you to Sam Raimi, who was able to wrangle up all the people and make a great movie. And yeah. Alright, this has been The Honest Critic, and I hope you enjoyed this review. Remember to share the video, like the video, and subscribe. See ya.